Chapter 2 1,000 Pails of Water. Let us begin. Rajay. Let us go swimming, Shoresh. Shoresh. I don't have a swimming costume. Rajesh. I shall lend you mine. I have one to spare. Shoresh. Thank you. Where do we go now? Rajesh. Let us go to the naval swimming pool, Shoresh. Where is it? Rajesh. It is in the Navy area. Shoresh. Are all the other friends coming too, Rajesh? All the classmates are coming to practice for the swimming competition. Let us read. Yukio lived in a village where people fished and hunted whales to make a living. Yukio's father too was a whale hunter. Why do you kill the whales, father? Yukio asked. Shuki's father works in the market, and his hands are never red with blood. Hunting the whale is all I know, his father answered. But Yukio did not understand. Yukio went to his grandfather and asked again, Why does my father kill the whales? Your father does what he must do, his grandfather said. Let him do his work and ask your questions to the sea. So Yukio went to the sea. There Yukio saw a whale that had got trapped between some rocks and was left behind when the tide went back. The eyes of the whale, which were as big as Yukio's hand, rolled in fright. Yukio knew that the whale would not live long out of the sea. I will help you, dear, he said. Yukio checked the whale with his little fingers. The foam climbed higher with each new wave. The sun was hot on Yukio's back as he stood looking at the whale. Yukio filled his pail with water and threw it over the great head. You are so big, and my pail is so small, he cried. But I will throw 1,000 pails of water over you before I stop. The second pail went to the head as well, and the third and the fourth. But Yukio knew he must wet every part of the whale or it would die in the sun. Yukio made many trips to the sea for water, counting as he went. He threw 4 pails on the body, then 4 on the tail, and then 3 on the head. Yukio sat there, out of breath, his heart pounding. Then he looked in the whale's eye and remembered his promise. Yukio went back to the sea and stopped to fill his pail. How many had he filled so far? He had lost count, but he knew he must not stop. Yukio fell, the precious water spilling from the pail. He cried, and his tears disappeared into the sand. Yukio got up, filled his pail, his back hurt, and his arms hurt too, but he threw and threw. He fell again, but this time he did not get up. Yukio felt himself being lifted. You have worked hard, little one. Now let us help. Yukio's grandfather lay him in the shade of one of the rocks. Yukio watched his grandfather throw his first pail of water and go for another. Hurry! Yukio wanted to scream, for his grandfather was old and walked slowly. Then Yukio heard some voices. His father and all the villagers were running towards the sea. They carried pails and buckets and began to throw water on the whale. Some of the villagers removed their jackets and soaked them in the sea. This they placed on the whale's burning skin. Soon the whale was wet all over. Slowly the sea came closer and closer. At last it covered the huge tail. Yukio knew that the whale could now be saved. Yukio's father came and stood by him. Thank you, father, Yukio said, for bringing the village people to help. You are strong and good, his father said. But to save a whale, many hands must carry the water. Now the whale was moving with each new wave. Suddenly a great wave lifted it free of the rocks. It was still for a moment, then, with a flip of its tail, swam out to sea. The villagers watched silently as the whale swam farther and farther from their shore. Then they turned and walked towards the village. Everybody talked except for Yukio, who was asleep in the arms of his father. He had carried 1,000 pails of water, and he was. Let us recite. Big waves and little waves. There are big waves and little waves. Green waves and blue. Waves you can jump over, waves you dive through. Waves that rise up like a great water wall. Waves that swell softly and don't break at all. Waves that can whisper, waves that can roar, and tiny waves that run at you. Running on the shore.